Yeah, let's try to get into the circus. God damn it. Fine. I'll buy the damn ticket. You stroll into the circus. I guess it's more of a carnival, but let's not split hairs. And find it almost entirely deserted. There aren't more than a dozen other patrons beside yourself. There are a bunch of clowns around, working at the booths and so on. More clowns than customers, which is a little unsettling, but at least the lines won't be very long. Horse bites? Your merry-go-round has actual horses? This clown is presumably selling tickets to the sideshow. Whoa there, fella. You gotta pay if you want to see the sideshow. It's not included in the main ticket price? Nope, that's why it's called a sideshow. Well, what do you have in there? Secrets, mysteries, things too weird and disturbing to be witnessed by the light of day. How much does it cost? 300 meat? Okay, yeah. The sideshow tent is fairly large and packed with weird things to look at, like all good sideshows are. A few lanterns are hanging from the ceiling, casting flickering shadows around and making everything look more eerie. A clown is hanging out in here, presumably to keep an eye on the exhibits. He grins and nods as you enter. Come on in, take your time, have a good look around. Just remember, no touching. You lean in closer to inspect the shelf of jars. They mostly contain malformed and/or mutated animals pickled in formaldehyde. A 3-headed kitten. Some kind of ferret or weasel with 8 legs. A twisted Mobius loop of snake without a head or tail. Weird, crazy stuff. One shelf seems devoted to huge, gross pale grubs, like fat, featureless white worms the size of a sweet potato. The one on the end is larger than the others and has shiny black eyes. Someone has painted its face in an apparent parody of clown makeup. Yuck. Oh, we can take a closer look. The pasty white face has been painted with little blue triangles over and under the eyes. The creature has a long, thin slash of a mouth as well, and the area around it has been painted with bright red lipstick. The black eyes flash red as the thing suddenly thrashes in its jar, spinning to face you and stretching its mouth open, revealing rows of yellow shark teeth. You stumble back with a cry of shock. Yeah! Got you pretty good there, buddy. What is that? It ain't a real critter. It's made of rubber and clay and doll parts and such. Got an electromagnet under the shelf to move it with. He takes a little push-button gizmo out of his pocket to show you. Should have seen your face. You about jumped right out of your boots. Alright, well, let's take a look at the eggs. You see several shelves full of white eggs, each one painted with a unique pattern of colorful shapes. A small placard pinned to one of the shelves says, "Clown eggs." In the circus community, it is traditional for each clown to paint their chosen makeup pattern onto an eggshell. These clown eggs are archived for future reference to ensure that no one chooses a pattern that has already been used. It is considered extremely taboo to wear another clown's face. These must be the eggs for the clowns that work in the circus. You recognize a few of them, like the clown here in the sideshow tent and the ticket seller out front. Hey, step back, please. No touching. I'll look at myself. Your reflection in the mirror is short and squashed looking, folded up like an accordion. You spend a moment moving back and forth in front of the mirror, seeing how the image changes. It's kind of amusing. This mirror makes you look really stretched out and thin. Your limbs twist and writhe like snakes as you move around. It's a bit unsettling and your muscles ache a little. Sympathetically. Gah! This mirror somehow shows you what you look like in clown makeup. Bloodshot eyes stare back at you from a pasty white face, painted with an odd pattern of red triangles. In the flickering lantern light, it almost looks like he winks at you. Brr. This guy is a startling sight even for a circus freak show. His entire head is one enormous eyeball. As you look over at him, he stares back at you. Not that he's got much choice. Hello. How's it going? Can you talk? Take a closer look at him. You move a little to the side and lean over the rope to get a closer look at the guy. He's basically just what he seems to be at first glance. A guy with a giant eyeball for a head. You do notice two things, though. First, he has an odd lump at the, well, what you would call the base of his skull, if he had one. A sort of crumpled, fleshy mass the size of a fist. With a squint and some imagination, it almost looks like the crushed and shriveled vestigial remains of a human head. The second thing you notice is that his ankles are locked to the legs of his stool, and the legs of the stool are bolted to the floor. So, this circus gig, how do you like it? His hands slowly curl into fists, and the knuckles turn white with tension. Do you blink? This man is neatly dressed, though his suit is a bit threadbare and out of fashion. He's smoking a pipe and leafing through a magazine. When you stop to look at him, he nods amicably. Hello there, welcome to the sideshow. My name's Douglas. Delighted to meet you. Are you perhaps trying to think of a polite way to ask what's wrong with me? Don't worry, Sydney. I am in a sideshow, after all. It is an obvious and natural question. Wait a minute. You said that last bit without moving your lips. Are you a ventriloquist? Not at all. Allow me to demonstrate. He stands up and turns around. His back is the same as his front. That is, his suit has been tailored with two front sides, and he has another face on the back of his head, with his hair cut and parted appropriately. Ta-da! As he sits back down, his knees and other joints crack and pop loudly as they reverse themselves. Douglas winces slightly, though certainly not as much as you'd expect. What in the... Surprising, yes? A bit, yeah? How's that even possible? Douglas shrugs and holds up his pipe to the, now, back of his head, so his other face can take a puff. Are you... what's the phrase? Siamese twins? Not exactly. It is difficult to describe, I'm afraid. It would be closer to the truth to say two instances of the same mind. With, as you say, two faces. I'll talk to him later. There's a lady here with her head sticking out of a hole in a large metal box. She nods politely at you. Hello. Hello there. Enjoying the carnival? Well, it's interesting. Can I ask you a question? Why are you in a box? First things first, we haven't been introduced yet. Oh, I'm Sydney. Nice to meet you. Nice to meet you, Sydney. I'm Janet. So, Janet, why are you in a box? That's a rather personal question, isn't it? Oh, sorry. I'm only teasing, dear. Would you like to see inside? Sure. Janet whistles to signal the clown, and he moseys over. He unlocks the door on the front of the box and throws it open with a theatrical flourish. Inside, instead of Janet's body, you see a tangled, complicated assortment of glass tubes and pipes ticking clockwork gears, and pumps. Liquids of various colors, mostly red, slosh through the tubes. A large bellows near the top inflates, and then begins to slowly deflate. It's some kind of trick, right? You're folded up behind a mirror in there or something? No trick. The clown chuckles and walks around the back of the box, opens a hatch, and waves at you through it, then saunters back to his place by the shelves. It's amazing! I've never seen anything like it! Well, I'll take that as a compliment. It's certainly educational, I imagine. The larger tank on the left is my stomach, if you'd like to see what I had for lunch today. You watch the various liquids slosh around in their tanks and pipes for a minute. Weird. Gross. But it is indeed educational. How did this happen? Were you in some kind of terrible accident? I'm sorry, but I can't talk about that. Of course, sorry, it must be a painful memory. Her calmly composed face creases into a slight grimace as she shoots a sidelong glance at the clown. Yes. Well, it was nice to meet you, Janet. Oh, God. Your knees must be a wreck. Surgery was necessary to permit them to bend in both directions. It sounds worse than it feels, I assure you. Why are you in a sideshow? With a regular suit and haircut, you could easily pass for normal. I have a contract. Out of the corner of your eye, you spot the clown making a gesture, but you didn't catch what it was. Douglas clears his throat. Plus, well, it's quite the life, you know. Free room and board, travel the world, and you meet such interesting people. I'd rather not discuss how it came to be this way, if you don't mind. Howdy, fella. Welcome to the sideshow. Thanks. What's to see in here? Well, down to the left, we have our collection of spooky warped mirrors. Right here, we have an exhibits of clown eggs and pickle punks. And further down to the right is our freak show. Feel free to explore, and I'm here if you got a question. About these, people. You mean the freaks? They ain't they a scream? The one with the giant eyeball head is my favorite. Nice quiet fella. If you have questions about the other two, feel free to ask them personally. I wouldn't want to be telling tales out of school. Since the eye guy can't talk though, you can ask me about him if you want. Okay, what can you tell me about him? Not much, I'm afraid, to be honest. He joined us, about a year ago. Maybe a little bit less. Where'd he come from? No idea. Weird, ain't it? You'd think fella looks like that, you'd have read about him in the papers, right? It sure is mysterious. How'd he get like that? Couldn't tell ya. I bet you've got a theory, at least. Heh. Well, maybe he saw something no human fella shoulda ever see. And why's he locked to his chair? Ah, you noticed that, did ya? Real shame, that is. Fella's a bit unpredictable. Has a violent spell once in a while. Gosh. Don't you worry none, I'm keeping an eye on him. Heh. About these, people, does he ever blink? You mean wink? Heh, nope, no eyelids. I gotta toss a bucket of water over him every once in a while so he don't get too dry. Okay, well. Red Hots! Calls the clown behind this food stand. Red Hots, footlongs, 2 kinds of mustard. There's also a small sign that says lost and found. How much are the hot dogs? Oh, wow. No, thank you. There's a clown with rubber balloons. Ah, test my aim, huh? Sure, I'll take a closer look, and, what's the price? I'm gonna shoot from the hip. Dang it. Ah, fine. Calm your mind, blah, blah, blah. Okay. Greetings and salutations, fella. This is a game designed to test your intelligence and capacity for abstract thought, and, well, if you care to try your luck, far be it from me to obstruct you. What's the game? The simplest guessing game imaginable. I got a standard deck of playing cards here. I show you all the faces, and then I turn them back over and start picking cards. You guess what cards I pick, and you win. You don't shuffle them? No, sir. If you can memorize the deck of cards that fast, more power to you. Or if you got a bunch of magic in you and want to try reading my mind, that's fine too. Just don't dig too deep. Damn it. There, maybe I can now shoot awesomely. Nope, I require 20 moxie. Oh well. You okay, kid? Did you lose your parents? I lost my lucky bottle cap. You haven't seen it, have you, sir? No, but I'll keep an eye out. What's it look like? It's shiny steel and it's on a little chain. Alright, what's the game? It's probably something with using muscle. I got a plush bear. I'll talk to the muscly clown. Okay, well, shit. Shouldn't have spent all those points on my moxie, but oh well. We might have to come back here later.